Good morning and welcome to your daily creative writing practice. Good morning and welcome to your daily creative writing practice. I'm Rachel and I'll be your guide today. We're live today from my studio in San Diego, California, and I'll be improvising everything as I go, including creating the prompt, interpreting it, and writing along with you so you can watch my words fill the screen. If you're ready, go ahead and grab your favorite writing device, whether that's a notebook and a pen or your computer. I also encourage you to journal via the written word, spoken device, drawing, or even through creative movement. Today's prompt on Monday is a prompt I call 1 plus 1 equals. So today's two items for this prompt are two items that I pulled earlier today. We have a postcard, and on the postcard, we have a picture of Shakespeare's birthplace. We also have an hourglass. This is a 10-minute hourglass that I got from Amazon. So let's talk a little bit about some different directions we could go with this prompt. So, one direction we could go is we could go in a creative writing direction. And in our creative writing direction, let's say we don't want to take this literally. We decide we're going to take the postcard at face value, that it is a postcard. And let's say that we have an assignment and we have to mail this postcard or get it to a certain person by a certain time, as indicated by the hourglass, or ... something might happen. We can also take this in another direction using the concept of time and a birthplace. Perhaps someone is racing to the hospital to have a baby, to witness the birth of a baby. Or if you want to take this in a more magical realm, perhaps they're trying to get to the baby before the clock hits midnight, so they have the opportunity to gift the baby with magical powers. If you want to go in a personal journaling direction, you could write about a time, literally, when you remembered a story about where you were born. You can also write stories of where the important people of your life were born. In addition, you could take this in a different direction. You could write about Shakespeare, the first time that you saw a Shakespeare's play, read a book. What did you like or dislike? This naturally leads us into another direction you could take for your writing activity. You could also take this into a list making activity. You could do things that time and postcards have in common. You could write about things that you like or don't like, about Shakespeare. Perhaps that could include a time component. You could make a list of your family members' birthplaces and the times that they were born. And then I also encourage you to consider the wildcard option. For the wildcard option, you can consider any option that comes to mind related to one or the other of these items. Perhaps you've been to Shakespeare's birthplace and you want to write a story about that. Maybe there's something in the postcard. Maybe it's the chimney. Maybe it's the way the house is built. Maybe it's the blank postcard itself. Maybe something about the hourglass. Maybe something about the sand passing, um, the time, the color of the sand. Choose which direction feels most interesting to you today. So in just a moment, I am going to ring a bell. When I ring the bell, that's going to start our 5-minute writing time. Now, as I'm writing, you'll also be able to see what I'm writing on my page at the same time that you're doing your writing. So I encourage you, if you'd like, to take a sneak peek at what I'm writing, or if you'd rather wait and watch it later, you can also watch it and put it on 2 times the speed. It will go a little bit faster. And after I'm done writing, I will share why I went in that direction and what I was thinking about as I was writing. So let's go ahead and get started with our writing time. concludes the end of our 5-minute writing session this morning. If you're in a good writing zone, I encourage you to continue. I am going to take a couple of minutes and just show you what I was thinking about when I was writing. I had this idea of time and the postcard, and I decided to interpret them both in a more literal direction, thinking about the idea of it's time to send the postcard, but why is it time and to send it to who? So I thought about teenage girls. It looks like I write about them a lot. Some teenage girls who had something happen back in the day. That something had something to do with a note that happened on October 15th. And now every year, she, who we're calling R2, sends a postcard to all of the people who may have stolen a note. It was a note that R1 left for R2. It was a note that someone changed. It was a note that honestly did change their lives, and not just as teenagers ever. So 30 years later, R2 still doesn't know who wrote the note, but every year she sends a postcard to all of the suspects, all of the people that she thought may have stolen and changed the notes. All of the postcards are handwritten, and all of them say, "I know it was you." She never gets them back, and she goes on about her life. But this year, on Halloween, there's a knock on her door, and another, and another. She peeks through the hole of her door, and she sees that all of her postcard recipients have shown up. She didn't know she was having a Halloween party. And that's my interpretation of the prompt. It was just fun to play along with it and see what I could come up with. If you'd like, you're welcome to share what you wrote today in the comments. If you'd rather keep it private, that's perfectly fine too. I'd love for you to join me again tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be doing our Tuesday prompt, which is finish the story. I'll be posting a new writing session every weekday. And if you'd like to keep writing together, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for writing with me today, and I will see you tomorrow.